everyone, I hope everybody's doing well. Today I'll be filming a Australis one brand drugstore makeup tutorial for you all. I went out and I bought some Australis products and some new products of theirs, and I just wanted to test them out for you guys in a one brand tutorial that's affordable and is drugstore. All of the products I've used today can be purchased from a chemist, a drugstore, or can be purchased from Target, Kmart, Big W, Priceline, you know the drill. So if you want to know how I got this look, please keep watching. So I have this look in my head that I want to try and do all with just the one brand drugstore Australis cosmetics. You guys know I'm in love with them, and I just wanted to base this tutorial solely on their products. I went out and I bought a few new products of theirs. I bought the highlighting drops, also one of their concealers, and also a bronzing powder as well. So to prime I've already primed my face and everything, moisturizer, primed it and all of that, but to prime my eyes I'll be using the Australis eyeshadow primer, and it just comes with a doe foot applicator like that, and I'll just be popping that heavily, obviously, on top of my eyelid and also on top of my eyebrow as well. And then I'll just buff that in with my fingers. It's like a silicone based primer. It's very smooth, and I reckon you can almost use it as a pore filler as well if you really need to. I mean, I know I could. My brows may look like they're already done. I do tint them at home, but I'll be going along with a brow product from Australis later on just to sculpt them into place so they're on in the tutorial. So now for my foundation, I've said that in my last tutorial that I will be purchasing the 16-hour Stay Put foundation. I have used it in high school. I've used it all throughout high school actually, as far as I can remember, and I went in, I got my old shade that I was, and I'm still the same shade, and it says it's a flawless even coverage for a natural luminous finish that lasts up to 16 hours with SPF 15 sun protection as well, and that lives to every single word that's on that bottle. Honestly speaking, you guys know that high school, college, whatever you guys call it in America, but in Australia we call it high school. There's sweaty days, you've got your cold days, you've got your rainy days, and this little bad boy did not even move the tiniest bit off my face when I had it on. So I'll be applying it with the Australis the Jelly Bean makeup sponge. I've seen tutorials where they just like pat it onto, oh it feels so good, where they just pat it onto the skin. It's my first time using it. I just unpackaged it, and so it's a little bit of a first impression of the Jelly Bean makeup silicone sponge, and also a bit of a first impression of the whole thing actually. So I don't know if I should just put this on maybe we should just try it like that first. So I've just put one pump on the silicone sponge, and on the tutorials it said that pat it on like you would with a beauty blender. This feels so weird. So to me, I don't know as far as I'm into this tutorial, but I'm very much used to the beauty blender, so it doesn't seem unnatural for me to pat something onto my face. And as far as the application of the silicone sponge goes, it's very even. Sorry, pardon me. Yeah, it's very even, and it doesn't seem to clog up. Like with just one pump, I'm able to cover most of half of my face. With the beauty blender, I kind of like the idea that it's cooling on the skin, because like obviously you gotta wet it. So as far as I'm concerned, it does not leave any streaks. Yes, it does actually feel weird when you're putting your foundation on, but as you can see, no streaks, even coverage, and the foundation in general, you guys know that I really love anyway. So I think to clean it, you just can like wipe it with a makeup wipe, I'm guessing. It's very sanitary because you can also disinfect it on the spot as well as if you're using it on your clients, and there we go, as good as new. So on top of that, I'm just going to do a mixture of the Australis Liquid Strobe Illuminating Drops, and I want to do a mixture of gold and both pearl, but I don't know where. Okay, so I might actually scratch that. Today we're going to be trying the gold one. I'm going to be putting the gold one on my high points of my cheekbones, and also just a little dot in the middle of the corners of my eyes. So it's very liquidy, as you guys can see. Not too thick in formula, like it's not dripping. I've got to really push for it to drip, which is a good thing. You don't want it dripping everywhere. And it seems like it's very pigmented. Wow. Okay, so let's just start off there. Little dot there, little dot there, and tiny dots there. And I'll just be using my fingers to blend that in at first, dabbing as you would with a beauty blender, and already you guys can see that's very, very pigmented. Using a finger is also really beneficial because the heat of your fingers actually mold that product into your foundation and your skin. So it can, like as you can see, it's not just sitting on my skin, it actually sunk in. It is very pigmented. Oh my god. Look at that. It's just so beautiful. Australis. Wow. Okay, so that there is just without no powder, nothing. And then for my concealer, I'll be using Australis Bright Eyes Illuminating Under Eye Concealer in the shade, I'm guessing banana. It's got like a little banana sticker on it. First impression, brand new product. What do you do? Do you twirl it? What do you do? I'm so confused. I've been sitting there for about 2 minutes twisting this thing, and then I noticed that you've got to like pump it up. So it's like an actual pen. Nothing's happening. Okay, alright, so there it is. I'll be placing this in a V, oh wow, that's in a V shape, as I would with any other concealer. And then also cancelling like out my brows as well while I'm there. And then to blend that in, I'll be using my Zoeva Concealer Buffer Brush. So it is a very, very brightening, which I love in a product, in a concealer actually. If I say I love this, wow, oh my god, this is gorgeous in this video countless times, please excuse me, as I am a die-hard fan of Australis products. So as you guys can see, the pigment in the products that I just used is absolutely amazing. My foundation covers really well, looks natural, doesn't look cakey, and is very buildable as well. Comes with its own benefits. It goes for 16 hours and it has beneficial ingredients in there as well. The strobe lights is absolutely amazing. Like, you guys can be your own judge. The highlight on top of my cupid's bow and my nose and my high cheekbones are already peaking, and I have not even touched it with powder product at all, as you guys can see. And the concealer speaks for itself anyway, as you guys can see in the camera. Complete 100% brightening. I haven't had a concealer that brightens underneath my eyes and makes me actually look like I've had a good night's sleep as much as this one did. And coming to the fact of the price, it's a very affordable drugstore product. I picked the concealer up for $11 I think, and the bronzer for $14.95, $14.75 at Kmart. So going into setting my face, as per usual, I'll be using my Australis Fresh and Flawless Pressed Powder Foundation in the shade Medium Tan. And obviously I am white. I had to bring down my foundation onto my chest, so also I'll be putting my powder setting product on top of my face and my neck and décolletage as well. So I don't want this look to be really chiseled and contoured. I want it to look bronzed up, healthy and glowy at the same time. And I want the main focus to be on the eyes. So for that reason, I'm not going to contour. I'm just going to go straight into bronzing out my face and my cheekbones and using that as my contour. So for my bronzer, I'll be using the Australis bronzing powder in the shade Golden. I have not touched it yet, as you guys can see. I've not even swatched it because Kmart doesn't allow you to swatch. Just pick and choose what you see. I just hope that it goes well with my complexion as well. So before I go ahead, I'm going to give it a little bit of a swatch. So that's it over there. As you guys can see, it's very subtle. And on the back of my hand, I'll show you. On the back of my hand, that's my skin tone, and that is it over there. So it's like I said, very subtle. So it definitely does have warm undertones, and it's very pigmented. It seems like it's a buildable product up to your desired pigment. But for me, like I said, I just want this look to look really golden, really bronzed up. Yeah, so it's amazing. So beautiful. And I'll just be bronzing up the sides of my face as well. And also using that underneath my jaw and in the hollows of my collarbones. So to highlight underneath that bronzer and give it a little bit more of a definition, I'll be using my Australis Quincy Cream and Powder Highlighting Kit, and I'll just be using the banana shade that's over there with my Real Techniques setting brush, dabbing that into the powder product and just running that along on my bottom jaw, just so it brightens it up a little bit. And the same thing underneath my eyes as well. So to highlight my cheekbones, I'll be using the Australis Strobe Lights Illuminating Powders, and it comes in a pack of 3. You can open these up and put them into a pan if you want to, of your own, a Z palette or something. But I like to keep my stuff in what they come in their own packaging, and because this one has a little pretty small mirror that can fit into your bag, look how tiny that is. And first off, like I said, I want this to look like a glowy luminous look, so I'm not going to be using the Pearl shade. I have used these 2 shades over here before in one of my other tutorials, and I will link that down below, so if you guys want to see the Pearl shade as well, go ahead and watch that tutorial. But today I'll be focusing firstly off on this shade over here, and I'll just show you. So I'll be dabbing that pressing it onto it and applying. It has a really beautiful glow to it. So that's just 3 layers of that shade there. What is its name? So it's shade number 3. It doesn't have a name, but it has a number. That's just shade 3 there, and that's 3 applications, one on top of the other, and it's absolutely amazing. But you guys know that I love to over exaggerate my highlighter, so I will definitely be going in with the lighter shade as well on top of it, and most likely I will be spritzing it with a setting spray so it pops out a little bit more. And now I'll be dabbing my brush into the shade number 1 and also spritzing it with my makeup finishing spritz from Australis, giving that a generous spritz, and let's see how this goes. So that definitely does intensify that highlight, as you guys can see. That was just 1 dab into the product and 1 tiny little spray. And then with the tips of my finger, I'll just be running that along in the product and dabbing that onto the tip of my nose and more onto my cupid's bow. And just for that bit extra, I did pop a little bit on the high tops of my brow bone underneath my eyebrow, so it can highlight my brow bone as well. So for my eyes, I'm just going to go with 1 Australis palette, and that'll be the Australis Fake Eyed Eyeshadow palette. There's a total of 15 shades over here, and they range from warm to cool, all beautiful, all pigmented, all blendable. I do have another tutorial where I'm using this palette as well, and I'll definitely link that in the down bar below, so definitely go ahead and check that out as well. So I'll be using the shade Taupe Fedora, that one over there, as my base shade for my eyeshadow. And you want to use any flat top brush for this one because you want it to be very pigmented and get your eyes ready to blend out properly. So firstly, I'll run this along my brow bone and then go on top of my eyelid. And then to warm it up, I'll be using the shade Vienna in my crease. So we're using window wiping motions on your eyes and bringing that into the crease and also up into the brow bone. But you don't want to come all the way up the top to cover your high tops of your eyebrows as well. And then in the outer V, I'll be using Dark Skies with the same blending brush. A little bit of this shade goes a long way, so hold your brush by the very tip of it and working just in that outer V. And then going ahead and using window wiping motions just in my crease, nowhere near my brow bone at all. And already you've got so much dimension in this eye look just by that little 1 shade. So I'm going to leave the shadow right there, and I'll be going in with my Australis concealer in the shade Light, and I'll be using a tiny tip detailing brush, running that along the tip of that product and creating a very soft cut crease. So I'll be only going halfway through my eyelid, as you guys can see. I'm not going all the way. And then to set that, I'll be using Taupe Fedora again. And then on top of that, I'll be using the Australis Metallics eyeshadow in the shade Pearl Jammin. So I've just got a bit on the back of my hand. I am using a lip brush for this one, and I'll be molding that on the back of my hand with the brush and then placing it on top. And also I'll be going in my inner corner as well to pop that out a lot more. So we moved straight onto the eyes, but I did forget my blush. So for my blush, I don't know the name, but it's just an Australis blush that I've had for years, and it's very pinky. It's got like little pink specks through it, little glitters through it, and I'll just be popping that on. I was like, what was I missing on my face? It's my blush. So now that my eyes are done, so I'll be using a mixture of Vienna and Dark Skies again, just to blend that cut crease out and make it look all subtle and not just harshly cut off. So firstly, I'll go in with Vienna and fill in that area there, and then go in with Dark Skies just to cover that. And then with my Zoeva smudger brush, I'll be going again with Dark Skies and running that along my lower lash line. And then going ahead with any tiny brush and using the base shade, which was Taupe Fedora, onto the high tops of my eyebrow. And then going with shade number 1 from my Strobe Lights, which is the really light shade over there, and placing that on top of it. So now that I'm done with my powder eye products, I will definitely be setting my brows, and I'll be using the Australis Tint My Brow in the shade Dark Brown. So it's like a little spoolie, as you guys can see. So now I'll just pop some mascara on, pop my falsies on, and I'll be right back with you guys. So as you guys can see, the lashes actually did dramatize the look a lot more and it looks stunning. So now I'll be going on with my lip product, and today I've chosen to use the Australis Velour Lip Matte Lip Cream in the shade Honolulu. It's a very Barbie pink sort of shade and they smell so good. Oh my god. And because it is so pigmented, I'm just going to dab a little bit in the middle. So I just dabbed a little bit all over my lips and then I'll just buff it out with my finger. And then very lastly, I'll be using my Australis Makeup Finishing Spritz to set my face all day long and to keep my makeup beautifully molded into my skin. So this is my end result. I really loved it. You guys know that I love Australis products already. But yes, this is how it turned out. I hope you guys did enjoy watching it as much as I did filming it. Please leave your video suggestions in the comments down below. And give this video a like because it supports my channel a lot. Share this video with your friends and family and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I'll see you next time. Bye guys.